Hi all, and welcome to my video log for assessment 2. In this video I'll be taking you through the technical model of the snatch based upon UKSA technical guidelines, including phase breakdown and coaching cues I currently use to teach the phases and lifting itself. After this I will then explore common derivatives used within Olympic weightlifting, again discussing cues and the purpose behind certain derivatives, but let's first kick off with a definition. The snatch is commonly known as the ability to take the bar from one position to another in one fluid movement. This applies both to the full snatch and from the ground and any partial lifts, for example the hang and mid-thigh snatch. Okay, so first we need to establish our hook grip. This is shown in the video. From here we can get ourselves into a start position. Overhand hook grip with previously established grip width, bar over the eyelet of a shoe, close to shins, hips higher than knees, back neutral or lordotic, scapulars retracted with elbows upwards over the bar, head forward with weight towards the forefoot. Okay, so on to the first pull. Now big breath in and body tightness before we commence. Knees are driven back with elbows staying straight and torso over the bar. Weight slides towards the rear of the foot with the potential bar path travelling backwards. This allows space for the bar to rise close in relation to the body. So during the transition, weight should slide back towards the midfoot as knees slide under the bar. Shoulders remain over or in front of the bar for optimal pulling position, and the bar should be touching the upper thighs. So in the second pull or power position, triple extension occurs at the ankle, knee and hip, which is combined with a violent shoulder shrug to vertically propel the bar whilst maintaining straight elbows. It is important that the weight is shifted back to the midfoot or heel to allow vertical extension. This is where the highest watts is usually calculated during force production measurements. The catch phase occurs at the highest point of triple extension. Elbow flexion occurs over the line of the bar as the performer drives body weight downwards whilst driving the bar upwards. The bar is caught over the crown of the head either in a quarter or deep overhead squat depending on the derivative of the lift. Weight should be in the rear of the foot. From here, recovery occurs leading with the chest, driving upwards through the heels, explosively extending at the ankles, knees and hips, keeping torso upright with a straight back and breathing out as a erect stance is achieved at the top of the lift. Before analysing my snatch, we're going to look into the derivatives for each phase and briefly discuss their uses. For starting position, simple drills such as squeezing and releasing act as a reminder to performers on the feelings of tightness and postural positioning before lifting, compared to more dynamic drills such as the hovering deadlift, where small movement takes place, focusing on torso positioning and closeness of the bar. A riser can be used to increase the time under tension of the exercise and act as a suitable overload technique for posterior loading. On to the first pull and some of the technical theory carries over from the hovering deadlift, both in regards to the position and torso rigidity. However, more focus is now applied to the posterior knee drive and simultaneous ascent of the torso and hips. Using coaching cues such as knees back and torso over the bar will be appropriate. Transition drills are usually incorporated into other drills, however bar stick drills focusing on the transition movement, i.e. the posterior anterior knee drive, are often used in warm-ups, especially beginners. Explaining the weight transfer can often be referred to as a seesaw motion. The snatch grip deadlift and snatch grip are the other appropriate drills for teaching the correct bar path, again using the riser as a progressive overload method. On to the second pull or power position. Drills such as the mid-thigh jump shrug, pull and catch, along with the hang derivatives, can be used to improve vertical propulsion and teaching whole body force summation. It is important to stress hips initiate vertical propulsion and that scooping should be encouraged over smashing the bar. A common mistake is that the hips horizontally shift forwards rather than the bar being pulled to the hip. The hang derivatives will also include greater input from the posterior stretch shortening cycle and are useful drills to teach during the weight transfer during torso shift for vertical force production. Muscle snatch variants are also useful for teaching correct bar path when elbows appear to be too low on the catch. So on to recovery drills, and the main emphasis is on overhead stability and quickness under the bar, so it could be said that catch and recovery drills are quite similar. The tiptoe snatch balance has a greater focus on driving out and extending on the bar compared to the snatch balance where more leg drive is appropriate. Both drills should emphasise rapid extension and driving under the bar. The overhead squat is less explosive but teaches the correct patterning, followed by the SOTS press, which is a useful exercise for teaching thoracic extension and limiting lumbar spine assistance. Okay, let's take a closer look at my snatch at around 80% of 1RM. During the first pull, my torso remains over the bar and the bar path is straight. However, during the transition, my body weight comes forward too early, meaning I'm on my midfoot to toes. This means hip extension occurs early, causing horizontal force production and bar path. Furthermore, as my hip extension is early, my shoulders are behind the bar, thus my ability to drive up is limited. This means I have to jump forward to rely on good thoracic mobility and overhead stability to catch the bar. Drills such as snatch grip pull derivatives, mid-thigh and hang snatches with emphasis on bar path may improve my overall technique.